My never I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. I see them. Yopo.
Members, in the absence of any further correction, the official reports of Monday, 9th March 2026 is also adopted as the true record of proceedings. Yes, we now move to urgent question. Yes.
Speaker, with respect, just before we go to urgent questions, Mr. Speaker, you may recall that last week we brought to the attention of the House the disturbances in this recruitment into security services. Mr. Speaker, over the weekend, our constituents received notices on their phones that some should go for medicals. Mr. Speaker, I would want to plead with the majority leader, if, as promised by the minister, the process can be halted whilst the minister briefs us on this whole exercise. Mr. Speaker, according to the minister, 506,000 bought forms and 200,000 have applied for, have qualified for
minority leader. Let me
whereas
listen
we
to
have only 5,000
let me listen to
yeah, Mr. Speaker, just a moment. So my concern is, even if 20% qualify,
let me listen to the former.
Mr. Speaker, these are matters for leadership. I don't understand why he wants to be a de facto leader. You have your leaders and you want to rise on a point of order against a leader. Mr. Speaker, he should stop this. There are matters for leaders. No. Honorable member for, what's his constituency name? What's it? That was it. Adaku. Mr. Speaker, there are matters for leaders. He should, yes, because of his behavior, I've even forgotten about his constituency. Mr. Speaker, he should allow leaders to do their work. You come there and then you sit behind and you want to be what? You relax. Your leader has what it takes to respond to me.
Minority leader, I believe all members of the House, to a large extent, apart from having equal rights, learn from the leaders.
Mr. Speaker, don't go there.
So, if a leader is doing something and by the rules,
Mr. Speaker, for another leader to intervene, he is a backbencher. I told him to stay in leadership. Mr. Speaker, when they won, I told Kwame, stay in leadership. He says he wants to go to the ministry. So now your leaders are here. You allow them to respond to me. Mr. Speaker, all I'm saying is that according to the minister's records, 200,000 applicants have qualified for medicals. Meanwhile, he again disclosed that we have only 5,000 vacancies. My point is that until we iron out these challenges, if you allow all 200,000 to go for medicals, what it means practically is that after paying 1,600 each, because the medicals cost 1,600 Ghana cedi, it means that 200,000 are going for medicals with a legitimate expectation. Yet only 5,000 would qualify. Mr. Speaker, I won't belabor. All I am saying is that since the minister assured this House that he would come and brief us, can the whole process be put on ice so that, Mr. Speaker, we receive the briefing so that there is some clarity? But, Mr. Speaker, for 200,000 people to go and pay 1,600, where we know that just 5,000 will qualify, Mr. Speaker, it's going to be a huge problem on the unemployed youth who are already desperate. So, Mr. Speaker, it's a humble plea I'm making to the minister through the leader of government business to help in sanitizing this space. As it is today, if they start the medicals and they are paying 1,600, Mr. Speaker, the pressure is on all MPs. I was in Winneba, and the pressure on me, Mr. Speaker, I could not contain. And I'm sure others are having the same problem. Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, there is recruitment going on for entry into the various security agencies and services. And indeed, large numbers of young people, male, female, across the country have put in their application, and the process is rigorous. Mr. Speaker, when sitting on this side of the chamber, I recall I led several discussions in this chamber insisting that anytime there is recruitment, every young person must be given a fair opportunity. Every young person must be given a fair opportunity. I recall calling the Minister for Interior, Honorable Ambrose Derry, here at that time. And he said that after the first year's advertisement, those numbers that they had constituted a database on which, for the rest of his tenure in office as a Minister of Interior, that was the database from which we drew and then gave people opportunity to join the security agencies. We promised every young person in this country that we will give them a fair opportunity. So, Mr. Speaker, what we are doing is simply giving every young person a fair opportunity. We could have just gone and gotten, our foot soldiers and just listed them and given them over the same way that the MPP did. But we are not doing that. We are not. We are not. We are giving every young person an opportunity. Now, if 500,000 and over people have applied, it shows the enormity and the problem of unemployment in this country that we need to fix. Because all they are doing is looking for a stable job. That's what these young people want. They just want a stable job. And a job in the security agencies appears to them to be a stable job. It will earn them something. I know people who have degrees, have master's degrees, but have stepped down to come and use their SHS qualification just so that they can be eligible to apply. I mean, the situation must be desperate for a person with a master's degree, a first degree, to step down and come and use your SHS certificate to apply for a job when you have a master's. Such a young person has decided to take his chance. You can't say that if we allow him to go and then pay for medicals, afterwards there will be a problem. If you ask a young person today, should I allow you to go and pay for medicals and get to the last point, or I should save you from paying the medicals? He will opt to be allowed to go and do the medicals and get to the last point, hoping that he will be among the 5,000 that will be chosen. That's the dilemma that we are confronted with. Who are you going to say that the person should withdraw? Mr. Speaker, I've heard my friends on the minority side mention at press conferences that the Interior Minister should refund. Mr. Speaker, they did the same thing. Advertised, people paid, and they never refunded one Ghana cedis to anyone. I have Hansard of this house recording proceedings here when Ambrose Derry was also hauled before this house and asked the same question about refunding to the young people. He did not. He says it's a trap. He reserved the money at that time, about 35 million Ghana cedis. It is there. It's in the hazard. So you cannot be discussing refund now. Let's discuss how we can fix the economy so that jobs can be created for all these young people. If in the last 8 years, every year we're able to absorb 100,000 of them, what are the numbers that we're having now? In the last 8 years, if we're absorbing even small numbers,
the cost of the cathedral could have recruited.
the cost of the cathedral could have established businesses that will employ many young people. The cathedral, how much money did we spend? All the waste, the monies that were spent on COVID, if we had channeled those monies into finishing the one district, one factory initiative, can you imagine how many jobs would have been created? If we had spent that money finishing the Agenda 111, can you imagine how many jobs would have been created? 111 hospitals across the country employing these young people. Can you imagine where we would have been in terms of job creation? If you had finished the Kwalugu tomato factory, would we be where we are? So please, let's stop what we are doing. We are confronted with a problem. Let's face it as a country and let's deal with it. And we in the NDC will deal with it. We will face it squarely. We will fix the economy. We will revitalize our private sector so that they will create jobs. Government alone cannot keep increasing its size beyond its capacity. So yes, only 5,000. It could have been 10,000, 20,000, but who's going to pay? Who is going to pay? Are we going to go again, taking loans, getting into huge debts, destroying the value of our city, destroying our reputation internationally, having our economy and finances declared junk? We can't go back to those days. It requires discipline and sacrifice. And this is where we are. So, the minority leader, for the minister coming to brief this house, I have no objection. This is the people's house. Anything concerning the people, the ministers who work for the people should come and brief the people. We can discuss it. But be careful what kind of stand you want to take, because whatever stand you want to take today, we will show you that yesterday you took the stand that we are today and you had no problem with that. You can't all of a sudden overnight change position and say that, you know, money should be refunded. How can money be refunded? Is that a solution? Is the young man looking for the money? The young man is looking for a job. He wants government to create a job for him. And that's what we must be doing, creating jobs. 200 Ghana cedis, if you refund it to him, what is he going to do with it? And why are you more worried about you funding people? Because it is obvious that you are not even concerned about the young people not getting jobs. You are concerned about the idea that they will come to you to ask for money to go and pay for medicals. Because that appears to be your primary concern. That the young people will be coming to you. Please, whenever young people, don't go to him for money. Find your money and go and do your medicals. And give yourself a chance to be employed, to be recruited. Find your own money, because your MP is not willing to give you money. Mr. Speaker, I have nothing more to add.
Honorable Minority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, just
is this going to be
no, Mr. Speaker, not a debate, but
I talk
Mr. Speaker, just
out of the blue. I give you the opportunity. Sure. I must take him also.
Mr. Speaker, that's fine.
So when I give you a right to rebut,
Mr. Speaker, I'm not
go back to him?
Mr. Speaker, I'm not rebutting, but I think this is a moment for leaders. Mr. Speaker, I have heard leader, but my key concern is founded in concerns by many members of this house, including he himself. Mr. Speaker, when a system does not offer certainty, it must obviously be reviewed. When a system does not offer clarity, it must certainly be reviewed. But if we would always go back and say, oh, yesterday something happened, it was not good, so we shouldn't talk about it. Mr. Speaker, then what is the essence of a reset? Mr. Speaker, it cannot. Mr. Speaker, we are more than 10 here, so it cannot be a statement of fact. So it should be a sponge. Mr. Speaker, we don't want to.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I think that the record should reflect exactly what happened here. We don't know the number at that time. According to somebody who counted, they were 10. But now I think they are 13. I think now they are 13. But Mr. Speaker, I agree with him that it should be withdrawn. It should be withdrawn so that we will continue proceeding. So it should be withdrawn, Mr. Speaker.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, my good brother, Honorable Habib, has raised an issue that has to do with their attendance. And we don't want anybody to raise any quorum. We want government business to continue. And I know that you people are committed in ensuring that government business continues. And so, Mr. Speaker, I withdraw that statement. I withdraw that statement. And in fact, if you want, I will apologize. And to say that you are more than 10, now you stick now, you are 11. So let's continue.
Yes, Honorable Kinsilinyaku.
Mr. Speaker, thanks for indulging me. And for the records, our friends opposite us are less than 30. They are less than 30. Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the minister if the ministry and the minister will be intentional in providing financial support to actualize the Ghana Health Infrastructure Strategy 2025-2029. Because in your response, you said that they will be activated when you have fiscal space. But I'm asking if you'll be intentional in finding resources to actualize this strategy. Thank you.
Well, you may answer for whatever it's worth.
Mr. Speaker, my response to this question is that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, has made an emphatic statement that he's not going to abandon any ongoing or already abandoned projects. So, Mr. Speaker, we have comprehensive programs to make sure all these projects are completed. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I had wanted to talk to my senior Honorable Akando offline, but since the NDC members are 19, I just want to say it here so that they will hear on TV. On paragraph 3 of your answer, paragraph 3 of your answer, Mr. Speaker, of your leave, I just want to quote, under this program, the dialysis machine initiative has been prioritized and is currently under the tendering stage to expand access to dialysis service and improve the management of renal conditions, end of quote. Since, Honorable Minister, since you've mentioned the fact that the process at the tendering stage, can you educate this House or give that information to this House, whether or not the procurement method you're using is international, national competitive, or single source? Thank you.
Question overruled.
Mr. Speaker,
yes,
thank
you have the floor. Boama.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the Minister indicated that that is paragraph 5 of his answer. The maintenance health service agencies, including Ghana Health Service and teaching hospital facilities, have been directed to allocate not less than 10% of their internally generated funds towards maintenance. I would like to find out from the Minister, since this directive was given, what has been the status of allocating 10% to? What has been the status of the hospitals and the teaching hospitals making that allocation to do maintenance for the hospitals? Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this directive is a very new one. It was issued early this year, and we are following up to its implementation.
Honourable members, let's move to question number 555. Standing in the name of Alexander Akwesi Akwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Health what plans the Ministry has to address the issue of poor maintenance culture in healthcare facilities and ensure that they are equipped to provide quality healthcare services. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful to the Honourable Member for Akemoda for the question on the Ministry's plans to address poor maintenance culture in health facilities and ensure that facilities are adequately equipped to deliver quality healthcare services. The Ministry of Health recognizes that sustainable healthcare infrastructure and reliable medical equipment depend on strong maintenance culture, effective asset management, and timely replacement of obsolete equipment. In response to observed weaknesses in routine and planned preventive maintenance in some facilities, deliberate steps are being implemented. These include strengthening maintenance governance through sector-wide maintenance policies and standards, supported by an equipment policy that provides clear guidelines for servicing, upkeep, and replacement. An asset management and maintenance system is also being implemented to improve planning, tracking, and accountability, and to shift facilities from an ad hoc repairs to planned preventive maintenance. Capacity is being strengthened through sensitization and targeted training of facility managers on planned preventive and routine maintenance. In addition, all health service agencies, including the Ghana Health Service and teaching hospital facilities, have been instructed to allocate a fixed percentage of their internally generated funds towards maintenance to ensure predictable financing and reduce avoidable breakdowns. Mr. Speaker, maintenance has also been strengthened through regulation and oversight. In particular, maintenance is now a key metric in assessment conducted by the Health Facility Regulatory Agency so that routine inspections and licensing processes take account of infrastructure condition, equipment functionality, and adherence to maintenance plans. Mr. Speaker, these measures are intended to institutionalize regular maintenance and keep facilities safe, functional, and properly equipped for quality service delivery. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I have one supplementary question. Does the Ministry have any plan in outsourcing some of this maintenance jobs to other private people who could readily be available to maintain our equipment?
Yes. Can they be available, leader?
Mr. Speaker, the majority side must know that their front bench must not be empty at all times. There's nobody there, it's empty.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the observation from the Honourable Member is accurate and it's in our contemplation.
Honourable members, let's move to question number 251. You need to get up early because I look around, there was nobody thereafter. Yes.
I'm very sorry, sir. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the Minister's answer to 10% of IGF, in his first answer, he said, Ghana Health Service and teaching hospital facilities have been directed to allocate not less than 10% of their IGF. In the next question too, he says they've been instructed to allocate a fixed percentage
of their IGF. I want to find out from the minister, what is the actual percentage?
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, not less than 10%.
Question number 251. Standing in the name of Honorable Mavis Kukwa Bisi. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Health the status of the Western Regional Hospital project at Afenyo, which was awarded to Amandi Construction under the MPP government, and the measures being taken to ensure its timely completion. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Honourable Member for Hunter West for the question on the status of the Western Regional Hospital project at Afenyo and the measures being taken to commence works and ensure timely completion. Mr. Speaker, the project was affected by the domestic debt exchange program in 2022, which disrupted financing for externally funded infrastructure projects. Consequently, work stalled in 2023, and both the Afenyo project and the Fian Kwanta redevelopment remain suspended, pending debt restructuring and the renewal of financial agreement with the relevant export credit agencies. Mr. Speaker, government is actively working to conclude the restructuring and renew the financial framework, after which the Afenyo Hospital project will be placed back on track for completion to ease pressure on existing facilities in the Western region. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
No supplementary, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, members, let's move to question number 265. Standing in the name of Honorable Emmanuel Tobin.
Mr. Speaker, have the permission and authority from Honorable Emmanuel Tobin to ask the question on his behalf.
Yes, do.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Minister for Health the status of the Agenda 111 District Hospital in the Anya Soutuum constituency in the Ga Central Municipality. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful to the Honourable Member for Anyaso Chiom for the question on the current status of Agenda 111 District Hospitals project in the Anyaso Chiom constituency within the Ga Central Municipality. Mr. Speaker, with respect to the completion arrangement, the Ministry of Finance, by correspondence dated 13th February 2025, formally notified the Ministry of Health to incorporate the Agenda 111 project into its budget proposal for 2025 and beyond. And the ministry has accordingly captured the Agenda 111 program in its 2025 budget. Further to this, following handover directive from the presidency, the ministry has taken charge of the Agenda 111 project. Following the handover, the ministry engaged the management from AESL to undertake a special audit assignment, and the report has been submitted. In due course, the ministry will finalize a strategic implementation plan for Agenda 111 and engage the Ministry of Finance for the necessary guidance and support towards dedicated budgetary allocation. The ministry will also explore complementary financing options, including support from private partners who may be interested in assisting to complete these important projects. Mr. Speaker, the ministry remains committed to working closely with all stakeholders to ensure the timely and successful delivery of district hospitals for the people of Anya Soutium and the wider GA Central Municipality. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I rest my case.
Honourable members, question time is ended. On your behalf, I sincerely thank the Minister responsible for health for attending upon the House to respond to scheduled questions. Once again, thank you for coming. You are accordingly discharged. Honourable members, by the agreement of the House, we are moving to statements. The first statement is by the Young Parliamentarians Forum. You have the floor. Honourable members, if they are not here, I would direct that the statement be published in the Hansard. Yes?
Speaker, I believe that the next in line is the minority chief whip. So we'll take it in that order.
Well, I will do it in the order that it appears in the order paper. So I will direct that the statement numbered A be published in the Hansard. As we take B, it stands in the name of Honorable Frankano Dompre, Member of Parliament for Nsauma Dojiri. You have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I rise to speak on a call for legislation on ECOSED in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I rise today with a profound sense of urgency and responsibility to speak on a matter that transcends partisan politics, economic growth, and short-term development agenda. I speak to the need for legislative action against ECOSED, the mass destruction of ecosystems, and for Ghana to align itself with the growing global movement to make environmental devastation a punishable crime, both domestically and internationally. Mr. Speaker, ECOSED is defined by an independent expert panel convened by Stop ECOSED International, and I quote, "Unlawful or wanton acts of committed with knowledge that there is a substantial likelihood of severe and either widespread or long-term damage to the environment," and unquote. This is not abstract rhetoric. It is a legal concept with measurable criteria. Damage that is severe, widespread, or long-term. It goes far beyond regulatory fines or administrative sanctions. It is about criminal accountability for decisions and actions that destroy the very foundation of life and livelihood. Speaker, the current legal framework in international law, notably the Rome Statute of International Criminal Court, lists genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and aggression. ECOSED is not yet recognized as a standalone international crime during peacetime, even though environmental destruction today causes consequences on par with the gravest human rights abuses. Speaker, this absence in international law creates a legal vacuum. Corporations, state actors, and individuals can commit ecological destruction, deforestation, industrial pollution, oil spills, and climate amplifying activities with limited criminal liability. This is not just a theoretical concern. The Nigerian Niger Delta, for example, has suffered over 7,000 oil spills from 1970 to 2000.
devastating water, soil, and human health, and with full environmental restoration estimated to take decades. Such destruction is paradigmatic of ecocide. Globally, however, momentum is building to fill this void. At least 11 countries have already incorporated ecocide into their domestic law, including Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia, Ecuador, Chile, France, and Belgium. Speaker, in 2023, Belgium became the first European Union country to criminalize ecocide as part of its penal code revisions, demonstrating a political will to hold those who cause severe ecological harm to account. Across the world, Brazil, Mexico, the Netherlands, Italy, Argentina, France, Polynesia, India, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Peru, who are advancing legislative proposals aimed at similar goals. This is not merely environmental law. It is justice law, recognizing ecocide as a crime, embeds a moral framework into legal systems. As noted by legal scholars and advocates, criminalization signals a societal consensus, and destroying ecosystems is morally and legally unacceptable, similar to how criminal law treats thefts or harm to persons. In Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo publicly endorsed ecocide as an international crime at the 2024 UN Biodiversity Conference, joining the calls from the Pacific states like Fiji, Vanuatu, and Samoa to strengthen the environmental protection through criminal law. Speaker, why should Ghana act now? Ecological boundary crossing. As a country affected by deforestation, illegal mining, galamsey, and water pollution, Ghana's ecosystem are under severe stress. Recent reports indicate that up to 60% of our water bodies have suffered pollution due to illegal mining, a form of uncontrolled environmental degradation that threatens health, agriculture, and future prosperity. Mr. Speaker, moral responsibility. Environmental stability is foundational to food security, human health, and sustained economic development. The consequences of ecological damage are anti-generational. They affect our children, their livelihoods, and their right to healthy environment. Criminalizing ecocide affirms our collective duty of care towards our nature and future generations. By legislating ecocide as a crime, Ghana can position itself as a leader in environmental justice in Africa, much like the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Belgium on their respective continent, showing that environmental protection is inseparable from human rights, climate justice, and sustainable development. So in conclusion, we must pass a domestic ecocide law, introduce a standalone legal provision defining and criminalizing ecocide with clear thresholds for severity, duration, and impact, model on the Stop Ecocide International definition, align with international law, advocates at the Assembly of States, parties of the International Criminal Court to include ecocide as the 5th international crime, thereby enabling prosecution of the most severe environmental harms globally. Ghana has an opportunity to be a regional and continental leader, championing ecocide law to protect not only Ghana, but other African Environmental Ministerial Conference on Environment and other African Union, strengthen enforcement mechanisms, empower Ghana's environmental protection agencies and judiciary with investigative authority, evidence standards, and prosecutorial capacity to ensure accountability, penal sanctions and remedies, ensure penalties are proportionate and deterrent, including custodial sentences as well as financial penalties for individuals and corporations, and mandatory environmental restoration orders. Speaker, protecting our ecosystems is not an optional policy. It is a fundamental commitment to future generations, to human dignity, and to the harmony between economic development and environmental stewardship. Let us give meaning to that commitment by making ecocide a crime, and Ghanaian law by supporting its recognition under international law. I recommend the government in proposing the creation of a national crime of ecocide as part of the proposal made by the Constitutional Review Committee, from electoral democracy to developmental democracy, and urge a swift progression in the creation of national ecocide legislation to protect our economy now and into the future. Speaker, I thank you and I'm grateful.
Thank you. Honourable members, any guide as to the number of comments that we will take on each statement? We have about 12 statements for today.
I am trying to reach agreement with my brother. That's his statement. So given the number of statements we have, we want to agree that we take 1-1 plus leadership. So that makes it 4. That makes it 4. It's such a major statement, I agree. But if we take 4 contributors each, then we have a lot of statements to cover. Speaker.
Yeah, the statements are about 12.
Yes. Okay.
Very well. If that is the agreement of the House, I will then open the floor.
I'm sorry. It is not an agreement of the House. It is a recommendation from him.
Very well. What do you say to it?
I don't, because I'm involved, I don't want to hazard any guess. But clearly, if you see colleagues who are 2-2 should be okay. I think 2 should be okay. That's my humble view.
Yes, that's what he's saying. But that 2-2 should include leadership. So 4 comments on 1 statement. Yes, in order of seniority, I'll give the floor to Honorable Charles Agbebe.
Thank you very much, Speaker, for recognizing my seniority. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to commend the maker of the statement. Ever since I joined Parliament, he's been very consistent in making statements on the environment. In fact, he's been consistent, he's been persistent and passionate about statements on environment. Ecocide is definitely a crime. By its own definition, mass destruction of the ecosystem. Unfortunately, only 11 countries have passed a domestic law on ecocide. And in Africa, only 1. That's Democratic Republic of Congo. It even tells you that the world, or the countries in the world, are not taking issues of environment seriously. Criminalizing ecocide is very, very critical because we have laws already that punishes people who infringe on the ecosystem or the environment. But I think making a law on ecocide will further strengthen and deter people from destroying the ecosystem or the environment. Mr. Speaker, ecocide, as researched and well written by the maker of the statement, helps us to criminalize destruction of the environment. And in doing so, we will position Ghana with Democratic Republic of Congo in Africa as the countries leading this charge. And it's very important for me because we have challenges in Ghana. Sand winning, plastic waste, galamsey, pollution of the water bodies. It's important for us to show commitment and seriousness by passing this law criminalizing ecocide. It's also our collection. It's important for us to work towards protecting nature and the future generations of this country, Mr. Speaker. And further, I also support the call to make ecocide the fifth international crime internationally, because that way, then we can be making sure that countries will comply with very important legislations concerning ecocide. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I want to thank the maker of the statement and encourage him to continue the good work he's doing on the environment.
Honourable members, let's have in mind that the comment should not exceed 5 minutes. Yes, Honourable Dr. Kabiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me also join in commending the minority chief whip for his consistency on this subject matter. Mr. Speaker, I think that his attitude towards the environment is something that we must all emulate as members of Parliament, especially so when environmental issues are at the heart of even contemporary development issues, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the make-up of the statement brings our attention to a very major issue, ecocide. Mr. Speaker, we know as a fact that deliberate and wanton and mass destruction of human lives constitute, a crime international. And if life is not to be distinguished, I think plant and animal lives are equally important. That to the extent that persons would deliberately or negligently destroy the lives of animals and the lives of plants, to that extent, Mr. Speaker, I think that it is something that we need to look at as a country. That despite the fact that we have so many environmental laws, Mr. Speaker, the Ramsar Convention, which Ghana has actually been ratified, and we are actually having 6 Ramsar sites. Mr. Speaker, currently, those sites are endangered, despite the strict liability of these particular, offenses associated with the destruction of this particular natural and biological lives. So, Mr. Speaker, the time for us to give much more attention to issues of ecocide is now, and I think that the make of the statement is timely. Mr. Speaker, we are making this statement at a time that climate change is at the forerunner of global issues. Mr. Speaker, at the heart of ecocide, or at the heart of the destruction we cause to plants and animals, is the issue of global warming, is the issue of climate change. And Mr. Speaker, no country, no state is isolated from the real effect of climate change. And I think that we need to embrace this. Mr. Speaker, the moral imperativeness, the necessity of this particular legislation has been highlighted by the maker of the statement. And I want to add to the fact that flooding is much more common in our jurisdiction because of issues of destruction to plant and animal lives. We also have issues of emergence of new diseases. We also have issues about migratory birds. Recently, I raised an issue about the fact that migratory birds are distracting farm fields in the north. Mr. Speaker, all these are attendant effects of climate change and then destruction to plants and animal life. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to join the maker of the statement to call on the state, Ghana, and this parliament to, put at the heart of our deliberation and at the heart of our legislation issues about environment and the need to protect the environment, especially criminalizing issues of destruction or negligent or deliberate destruction of plants and animal life. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Yes, minority leadership. It has come to leadership, 1-1.
Very well, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, let me, most importantly, eulogize the maker of the statement against the backdrop that he has been more than persistent in dealing with issues of the environment. In fact, this morning I've had personally to engage him to further, as it were, recommend to him to do a PhD in environmental law, because he's been very well versed on environmental matters. And that is why it is critical for him to go beyond what he has today. Mr. Speaker, he brings to the fore ecocide. And that tells you that, in fact, it talks about the killing of the natural environment. That is the literal definition or meaning. Mr. Speaker, the natural environment is on the large scale of destruction. The massive destruction of our environment needs each and everyone's attention. Mr. Speaker, and the kind of destruction emanates from human activities, one of which is galamsey, illegal mining. Mr. Speaker, I read a piece recently about how the Breed Dam is at the verge of destruction.
Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, osia dem yopo.
Dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.